This is MikeBot. Today, I'm going to be doing a long requested video. I'm going to be doing the Bambu P1P versus the AnkerMake M5 full comparison. Now, I am located in Canada, so therefore, everything I'm going to be showing is in Canadian pricing. It's a lot cheaper in the US, I'm well aware of that, and probably cheaper everywhere else around the world. Canada and Australia are just very expensive in general. So I'm going to begin by just doing a quick little overview of the Bambu P1P, the Bambu X1C, as well as the AnkerMake M5. So I'm going to begin with the AnkerMake M5 because that's where most of the people are confused with why the Bambu is better or so-called supposedly better and this and that and whatnot. So first thing I'm going to mention, the only reason Anker came out with this nonsense 500 MMS was to compete with Bambu Labs. The Anker was designed to be 250 MMS and it does that very well. Anything beyond there, the quality drops significantly, as some of you have probably demoed or tried or have noticed. But everyone's got their own opinions, so I'm going to try to make this unbiased and as fair as possible. So as you can see here, they're now claiming it's 500 MMS. Advertising, marketing thing. I don't believe it. But if I go to buy now, you'll see clearly the AnkerMake M5 is $1,099 Canadian. Whoa, that is a lot of money for a bed slinger. They, on top of the 500 MMS, they do say they can do 0.1 millimeter detail. It does have a built-in AI camera for monitoring, which still does not work. If it works for you, leave a comment below, but I'm telling you it does not work. It does do time lapses as it promises. You can connect multiple devices through the app. Yes, it does 7x7 auto leveling. Not the best, but it still works. It is very easy assembly, and it's an aluminum alloy structure. Now, what they failed to tell you is the hot end is not hardened. They give you a brass nozzle as well, and I think it only goes up 260 degrees Celsius. For a printer at this price range, I expect it to be able to do at least 300 degrees, and I expect it to be hardened, but it isn't. It is what it is. Maybe in the future, AnkerMake will do something that'll improve that. The camera on the printer is pretty decent quality. It has fast bit rate, it's fast response, it works. It goes through the cloud. Now, all the back-end stuff, AnkerMake doesn't reveal, so we don't know if it's going to, I don't know, Russia, China, whatever, where your data is going, who it's exposed to, who can see what and what can happen. For all we know, everything is exposed through the Anker servers, and we would never know it until a breach happens. So, moving forward, their PLA is quite expensive, $78 for 2 packs. That is on the high end. If you go direct through any Filament brand, you can get it for as low as $15 a roll. Why they're selling for $78, I don't know, because every other brand can do 500 MMS without issues, and it's a fraction of the cost. Now, as far as specifications go, its bed is 235 by 235 by 250. Yes, that's accurate. It does have fast acceleration. Normal mode works really well at 250. Every now and then you get a bad print, but that's expected. And it says the max extruder speed is 500. Yeah, sure, you can do 500, but where's the quality? So, because it's not a hardened hot end, it only does PLA, PET, GTPU, and ABS. You're very, very limited. Also, your bed only goes up to 100 degrees Celsius, so nothing outstanding or special. Creality's been doing that for years. It does have a direct extruder. It does have double cooling fans, but they're not as efficient as they can be, and they fall apart after you put 40, 50 kilos of filament through. The PI magnetic steel sheet is really, really well done. It works. It's perfect. This is new. This wasn't here before. They must have upgraded something. So apparently now the extruder gear is double hardened steel. So that's nice marketing. Hopefully that's actually true. Not really much else to say here. The software is the Anker Slicer. Then you have the slicing app with AnkerMake. They now integrated Ultimaker Cura and Prusa Slicer. It works with Mac and Windows. That's all accurate. But again, take note of the price here. $1,099. So that's it for the quick little overview of the AnkerMake. Now for the Bambu. So this is a comparison of the P1P, so I'm just going to start with the P1P. So what's special about this printer? Well, one, it's Core XY, so it's a much more stable platform. Mind you, the AnkerMake is really heavy, so even though it's a bed slinger, they made it really heavy so it doesn't swing around. It is a very noisy printer though. So with the P1P, you get this basic shell here. You can print whatever enclosure you like. There's a lot of really cool ones out there. I printed the pegboard myself personally. This doesn't come with the auxiliary fan. I upgraded mine to have the auxiliary fan on it, and I've also upgraded a couple things to the printer which I haven't installed yet, and they're not even in yet. They're coming in down the road, so those are going to be some nice videos for you to check out down the road. And the extruder isn't hardened, but you can upgrade that for 15 bucks. But it is a stainless steel nozzle, it's not brass, so you already have that advantage. Anker has a really nice touch screen here. It's responsive, it's intuitive, it works. This screen on the P1P sucks. It works, but it sucks. It's very archaic. But one nice thing is, on top of using an SD card, you can also send things wirelessly to the printer. You cannot do that with the AnkerMake. You need to use a USB-C drive, which is ridiculous. You can't even use an SD card. You can print wirelessly, but you can't actually send your files to it. So there's another major flaw in the AnkerMake, in my opinion. So even though the screen sucks, you can view everything through the Bambu slicer, through your app, right out of the box from the day this launched. AnkerMake just recently launched that and allows you to do all that stuff. So, like I said, it's a Core XY system here, but on top of that, it's a 256 by 256 by 256 plate. So it's a massive build plate. It comes with the textured sheet as well. If you go with X1C, it comes with a special cool plate, and we'll get into that later. This is a heavily over-engineered extruder. It is direct drive as well, and it has the option to do multicolor with the AMS unit. Anker is promising their V6 engine at some point. I don't even think they advertise it on the Canadian site. So here are some of the different enclosures you can print for the P1P. 15 minutes out of the box is 100% accurate, but so was AnkerMake, 15 minutes out of the box. This also prints at 500 MMS without issues, high quality, but out of the box is printing at around 350. So it is faster than the Anker out of the box, and it's tuned to do 350. You can put it into ludicrous mode, which does 500 MMS. With this, you can't change the speed. Whatever you slice your print at, that's what you're printing at, and you're capped at 250. But if you slice it at 500, then you can print at 500. While with this, you can change the speeds on the fly with a click of a button. So as mentioned, the AMS does 16 colors, but you need 4 units. Each unit is $450 Canadian. They're very expensive. So just getting one is $450. I don't know what AnkerMake is going to charge for their V6, but we'll see. So one of the videos I'm going to do in part 2 is going to be a comparison of this of this Benchy. And I'm also going to print the 500 MMS Benchy off the AnkerMake and compare those. So because it's Core XY, it does 20,000 MMS acceleration, which is incredible. The acceleration on this one was... The acceleration with the AnkerMake is 5,000. So it's a quarter of the speed. So here's something really nice that Bambu has that AnkerMake doesn't have. It has vibration, compensation, and pressure advance. So with this, you can literally shake your printer and it'll still print perfectly. I have the anti-vibration feed, so the printer shakes like an MFer. And I mean, it shakes, but because of this algorithm and the vibration compensation, I get clean prints, but I also get noise dampening with the anti-vibration feed. The Bambu is also significantly quieter, even printing at full speed versus the AnkerMake. The AnkerMake sounds like a jet engine. Bambu, fairly quiet, actually, surprisingly. And when you put it on silent mode, you could literally go to bed right beside the printer and you won't hear it. So as mentioned, it does have direct drive like the AnkerMake. You can upgrade the gears to be hardened gears for like 15 bucks. The AI algorithm on the P1P or X1C works perfectly. There are no issues, no flaws. It's not in beta, it just works. There's spaghetti, there's an issue, you're getting a notification, print pauses, and it tells you, do you want to continue? That function just works. Blows me away, actually, because I've never had that feature work. This one just has standard automatic bed leveling, just like the AnkerMake. So you're not getting the advanced LiDAR system like the X1C. Bambu Studio and Bambu Handy, very well polished apps that work perfectly. I haven't even considered using Cura or any other slicer yet. With the AnkerMake, I've tried Cura, and Cura does work a little better than the Anker slicer, but I fine-tuned the Anker slicer and it works really well for me anyway. I have some videos on the Anker slicer and the different settings I used back when it was in the early beta stages. Both of them have a filament runout sensor. Both filament runout sensors work really well. The Bambu has an all-metal hot end. This one does not. The AnkerMake does not. They both have power loss recovery, and both printers do that really well. Power loss recovery works perfectly. With this one, there's a little tensioner to tighten the belts. With the AnkerMake, a little more hands-on, but you can tighten the belts as well with it. Time-lapse as well, just like the AnkerMake, works really well. The fans have... Basically, the Bambu has like 1,000 sensors. It's not... everything has a sensor on it. That's probably the advantage they have over AnkerMake. So on top of that, you can also print your parts for this. So if you get the auxiliary fan, the light, the chamber camera, you can print the parts for them to get them to work. But the P1P does come with the light and the camera now built in. The auxiliary fan is extra. It's like 39 bucks Canadian. I just noticed this little thingy here. That looks pretty neat. I don't know what that is, but I'm checking it out. So moving forward, here's another advantage. The Bambu does 300 degrees Celsius. AnkerMake's only at 260. This doesn't have a 0.1 millimeter detail, but you can print at 0.1 with a 0.2 nozzle. This one has a filament cutter built in, as well as a little cleaning wiper as well. So it cleans the nozzle for you, and it cuts the filament when it's done. AnkerMake does not have that. It's a hands-on thing you got to do with the AnkerMake. The P1P is compatible with all the different plates. The max speed is 500 mms. Realistically, you can push it further, but then you get into the situation of AnkerMake, where they say 500, but it looks like crap. So if you push this past 500, it will look like crap to some degree. The advantage with this printer is you can print many, many different materials as well. So with the P1P, you also get a camera, but it's high quality, but it is a low rate camera, so it's very choppy. The AnkerMake camera is better in that sense when comparing to the P1P. And yeah, so it goes on with a whole bunch of other different functions and features. It's a 350 watt power supply. I believe the Anker is 350. Actually, it's maybe a 500. I'm going to do a power consumption video in part 2 as well, and you'll see which one uses less power while printing and which one uses less power while idled. As mentioned with the P1P, it has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and this Bambu Bus proprietary. AnkerMake has their own version as well. This actually has a micro SD card. Anker doesn't. So anyway, that's basically the nitty-gritty, quick little overview nutshell. Now here is the best part. This is American. Don't look at that. So when I go to the P1P, 899 bucks Canadian. 1,099. This is twice the printer the AnkerMake is for 200 bucks cheaper. So that's why I prefer the P1P right off the bat, is price. Second, you'll see in part 2 which printer prints better, which one looks better, which one's faster, quieter, all that fun stuff. And that's basically the quick little comparison of the AnkerMake and Bambu P1P. Now I'll just do a quick one on the X1C. I won't go into great detail. So the X1C is expensive, $1,549, but it's got few extra added features that raise the cost. The LiDAR system, incredible. Every print is perfect thanks to that LiDAR system. It's also got an aluminum shell. It's got a glass cover on the top, glass cover in the front, has the auxiliary fan built in, has a really nice high-end camera. a really nice high-end touchscreen, actually much nicer than the AnkerMakes. Again, you're paying $15.49. And it has hardened nozzles and hardened steel everything. Like, it's as good as they come. Like, it's a Ferrari with Ferrari parts. AnkerMake is a Ferrari with Kia parts. With the X1 Carbon, you can print carbon fiber. You can print, it says it right here actually, PA, PC, PET, and TPU. With the AnkerMake, you cannot print all those. You can do TPU and ABS, but not the rest. The P1P, I don't think can do carbon or PA or PET, but it can do everything else. As mentioned, the AI works really well on the P1P and the X1C. Don't need to go over that again. And yeah, everything's all metal, hardened, comes with a bamboo cool plate. Great printer. And again, it's only a 350 watt power supply. I'm going to include a power consumption video, including the X1C as well, just for everyone's comparison. So next I'll talk about the cloud. So again, Bambu uses the cloud or their cloud to transmit data and all that stuff. Again, I don't know where it's going. Just like AnkerMake, it's very shady. I have no idea of how safe my information is, if everything is secured, if there's a breach, what happens. So both a little shady from both companies in that sense, but nothing we can do about it. The difference is AnkerMake is a massive company. Bambu is still new. I believe it was created by a bunch of engineers from DJI. What do you call it? There, those drone company. A bunch of engineers there created Bambu. So that's how that is. So next, I mentioned the filament with AnkerMake, so I'll mention it with Bambu. Like AnkerMake, ridiculously overpriced. Like, it's very expensive stuff. They throw an RFID tag into it, so if you have the AMS system, it detects automatically the filament if it's Bambu brand. But as you can see here, it's not cheap. It's $38.99. They weren't including spools for the most part and made you print your own spool. I think that option, yeah, it's still there. Filament with spool, refill. So you save like $4 without the spool. Get the spool. Do not get the refill. It's a disaster. Now, as for parts, I did not go over the parts. So we'll start with Bambu since I'm already here. So all the parts for Bambu are done in-house, and you can only get them off the Bambu site. Unlike Anker, they're not using Amazon, so you don't get it next business day. So plan ahead. Check out all my spare parts videos. It'll tell you what you should have on hand as backups, and just keep refilling your stock as you run out. The glue stick is recommended. It actually works really well, but take note of the price of the nozzles and everything. It's dirt cheap. $12.99. I think an AnkerMake nozzle is $30-some Canadian. It's very expensive. I'll go over that in a second though. So as you can see, the Bambu spare parts are super cheap. Yeah, you have a filament cutter, you got to replace the blades. Anker doesn't even have that option. So yeah, Anker makes you print a plastic scraper, you get metal scraper. You print the plastic handle, but you get 3 nice blades for $5.99, or you could just put your own blades on. Glue stick's expensive, but it works. You don't need it. Nice to have. The socks are cheap. You get 3 for $9. Anker is like 3 for $20. Nozzle wiper is a little extra thing Anker doesn't have, but again, it's a really nice function to have on the printer, and I wish Anker had that. So anyway, needless to say, the hardened steel extruder is $26, but you get that upgrade with the P1P as an option, which is nice. So anyway, needless to say, the prices of the Bambu stuff replacement is dirt cheap. Like, they have everything. You can replace every single part except the control board on the printer. So essentially, you buy all these parts, you can print your own minus the enclosure and the circuit boards that you'll need. What else is there? So there's the AMS, it's $4.50 Canadian. I wasn't bluffing. Hardened steel extruder unit, that's to replace on the X1C. Then you got your complete assembly. So everything is here. You can go through this site on your own. It's bambulab.com. Now for Anker, I can't even get spare parts. It's not an option. Looks like the V6 has a date. No, that's for the M5. I can't even get parts from Anker off their site. Wait, am I right? Oh, nope, they started offering it now. $50 for the hot end. Okay, so I'm just gonna show this again really quick. Look at the difference. $12.99. No, we're gonna compare full to full, just to make it fair. I said this was gonna be a fair video. You can get your belts here. Where is that? Full hot end nozzle. I think if I click here. So just the nozzle itself, if you want hardened steel, it's $20. Stainless steel, $12.99. The P1P, you can use stainless steel. Not recommended for the X1C. But the full hot end replacement is... Where are you? Why am I not seeing? There it is. So the full hot end replacement for the P1P, since that's the one I'm comparing, hardened steel is $45. Stainless steel is $44.99. Now, with this, you get everything. You get the sock, the cables, everything. You do not need to replace this unless you're moving to a whole new size. So with this, you're not... you do get everything, but you're stuck with the one size, one style. And it's not hardened steel. $50 is expensive, yes. Now, what I'm trying to get at is all you really need to replace is the hot end for the most part. Once in a blue moon, you might need to replace the entire hot end assembly, but I don't think you need to very often. It even comes with a fan. So AnkerMake, a little bit more expensive, a little bit less features. So they are kind of on par. Maybe I got a little excited there when I saw the price, but they're pretty close, but you're getting a lot more with the complete hot end assembly with the P1P. I think it tells me here what I get with it, actually. So with the complete hot end assembly, you get the hot end nozzle, a cooling fan, the ceramic heater, thermistor, and a silicone sock, and they're all pre-assembled. With this one, it's just minus the fan, and it's not a hardened steel nozzle. Now the socks, you got 5 for $16. I think it was 3 for $9 here. Nozzles are $30 for a whole bunch. These are brass, so they wear out very, very quick. I've already gone through 6 myself. With this one, you just buy the hot end with nozzle, $20 for stainless steel, and $13 for stainless steel, $20 for hardened steel. Both these nozzles, especially the hardened steel one, will outlast these a million times over. Now the bed, you only have one size, one option. It's $45 for the magnetic steel. With Bambu, you can't really use the cool plate on the P1P, so forget that. If you have the X1C, you can use that. It's $38.99 for the PEI sheet, $44.99. So Bambu is a little bit cheaper in that sense. Not by much, but something to take note of if you're buying a P1P, because the printer is already cheaper, and you're going to get cheaper parts and potentially a better printer, depending on your preference. Take note of all that stuff. So that's basically it. That's the nitty gritty. So next, I'm just going to do a quick little overview of my printers, and then near the after that video, you're going to see a video on the slicer comparison. And then if you want to wait till part 2 is when the full comparison starts happening. That's when the prints start. That's when I compare the prints. That's when I compare noise levels, electricity levels, everything. So this is just the generic intro, big video. Here are the comparisons. This is MikeBot. Welcome to my 3D printing comparison series, Bambu P1P versus the AnkerMake M5. I'm going to be starting out the series with the slicer. First things first, check out the description below for a link to the files I'm going to be using. The first file is going to be a printer test file, and the other one's going to be a printer cleaning pad and bed level test file that I made, and it's also uploaded to Cults. Check out the links in the description to be able to grab those and test yourself. So I have right here open the Bambu slicer, and I'm going to go ahead and start by doing the 3D printer test file slicing. So I'm going to slice the 3D printer test file first in the Bambu slicer, then the AnkerMake slicer. We're going to compare time versus material in both. Then I'm going to slice the pad, do the same thing in both, and then I'm going to print them on both printers, and that's going to be the first video. The next videos in the series are going to basically involve speed, quality, bed leveling, AI, hardware replacement, ease, the support, actual support like customer service support, and the quality of service you get. I'm also going to be doing a comparison on the power draw while they're printing and while they're idle, and I'm also going to be doing a noise level test while the printers are idle and while they're printing. I will also be throwing in some random information on the X1C during these videos. The X1C is not a fair comparison. It's out of both these printers' league and it's to another level. So it's going to be mostly focused on the P1P and the AnkerMake. So I'm going to start over here by going to my Bambu P1P with 0.4 mil nozzle. I'm going to be using a high temp plate here. I'm going to add the first file. So here's the first file. And just to make it easier to see, I'm just going to change the color here to white. So basically with this test, it's going to do overhangs. It's going to do overhangs as well as bridging tests. And then it's going to do the hole tests, diameter tests, a little bit of everything basically. So it's going to be a pretty fair test and both printers will be doing this. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go with standard for everything. I'm not going to change any of the default settings. And I'm going to just keep it simple. So I have a few videos on the AnkerMake slicer already. I don't have any on the Bambu slicer. So I'll do a really quick rundown here. So with the advanced option removed, everything is already pre-configured, pre-set up, kind of like AnkerMake, and it's very simple. So the layer height, 0.2, the seam is set to aligned, strength, you got your infill, shells, walls, support is disabled, and then under other is your bed adhesion, so that's where your brims and rafts and skirts come in. The prime tower, you don't really need that if you're printing with a single color. If you're not, then you will need that. You can also set it to flush color into object supports or infill, and then you have your time-lapse video option here. If you're using the AMS unit and it's changing colors, you might as well go to smooth, otherwise stick with traditional. Now when we select advanced, that's when we get all the full fine granular fine-tuning settings in the app itself. I haven't played around with these too much, so I'll just briefly go over them. I don't touch them because Bambu has really done an amazing job fine-tuning the slicer with all the default settings, especially when you select the type of filament you're using. So speaking of which, I am not using Bambu filament, I'm using generic PLA. So as you can see, the defaults are pretty straightforward. Ironing is off, wall generator is set to, sorry, the mouse is clicking everywhere, it's really frustrating. The wall generator is set to classic. I haven't actually given this option a test. I don't even know what it is, to be honest. Probably gives you some really strong walls or something, I don't know. I will eventually do a full review on this slicer. And the strength, the only thing I ever play around with is the wall loops. If you want strong, Bambu recommends 6. As a matter of fact, if you click strength, it'll automatically put it to 6. But I'm making this a fair, identical test between both printers. So I'm going to keep it to 2 wall loops, 15%, everything very basic. I'm not going to touch the settings. Here's where the speed settings are. As you can see, Bambu speeds are much faster overall. And the support's going to be disabled, so we don't want supports for this. Anyway, slice plate. So took about 2 seconds to slice. We're looking at about 41.5 grams. It's going to take an hour and 50 minutes to print this. So I'm going to go ahead and open the Anker slicer now. Do the exact same thing. And the file is loaded here. Once again, I'm going to make this as fair as possible. 0.2. Walls, 1.2, top, bottom. This is all defaults basically, 15%. And I gotta make sure supports are off so the test is fair. I'm gonna hit slice. So roughly the same time, 2 to 3 seconds. So this one's gonna take 2 hours, 42 minutes and uses 54 grams. Now let's open Bambu again. So Bambu uses less filament right off the bat and it is slightly faster. So I'm going to go ahead and save these files and export them, and then we'll do the bed leveling test. So we'll let that save, see how long that takes. It takes a bit of time for the Anker to save the exports for some reason. Let's see in comparison how long this one will take. This one was what, 42 grams, say? We'll just round it up. So it's an hour and 50 minutes to print. Hour 56 with the testing, so let's save that there. That one saved basically instantly. So Bambu Slicer is faster. Not by much, but by enough, especially if you're printing, slicing a larger file, you'll really notice it there. So as I mentioned, I have another file I need to slice. All right, so simple bed cleaning pad, and this is also going to kind of check the leveling of the printer. The print bed is slightly larger on the Anker. The bed is slightly larger on the Bambu, so the time will be a little bit different. So to make this test fair, I'm going to scale to the full size of the bed for both printers. And that way we'll kind of know. And I don't want this to be too thick, so we'll make it not good enough. If it takes a lot of material, I'm going to reslice it. Yeah, 79 grams. That's a waste of material. So let's make it 0.5. There, now it's only 0.5 millimeter thick. It's hovering in the air. Why is it hovering in the air? Okay, try again. There we go, 38 grams. I can do with that. So I'm going to export this. Now we do the same thing here. So like I said, the bed is a lot larger here. Well, I shouldn't say a lot larger, it's bigger. So I might not be able to actually do the full bed because it does have a zone that you can't really touch over the boundary line. So let me do this. So typically you can't print anything right here. So that's the small exception. So we're going to have to maneuver that in a way that it doesn't interfere. Might have to be a slightly different shape. That's as close as I can get it. And then we said it was 0.5 mil. Double check that. All right, slice plate. Pretty much instant. Uses a lot less material. Well, I would be surprised if it didn't, but so I'm making it as fair as possible. It can't be perfect, but close enough. So we got 27 grams and 45 minutes. All right, both files are ready. So what I'm going to do, actually, I should have sent the other file directly to the P1P. I'm going to send this one directly to the P1P, and I'll do the same with the other. You can't do that with Anker, so here's already an advantage right off the bat. So I'll just go back to the other file in a second and do the same thing, send it to the P1P, then I'll grab my USB drive and transfer the Anker files. Okay, so that's been sent over to the P1P. Now I need to do the USB stick thing with the AnkerMake and take it from there. And that'll wrap up video 1 of the series. Now while this, until this finishes, I want to just show everyone the next cool things with the slicer. So obviously the Anker doesn't have a color system yet, but the Bambu does. So when you color with Bambu, you basically hit the little bucket there, and then you can choose your colors. You can set all your colors here or sync it from the AMS system. I don't have an AMS connected to the Bambu, so I can't really show that off. Sorry, I don't have a printer. I don't have an AMS system, the color system connected to the P1P, only to my X1C. But I just want to show everyone here kind of how it works for fun. And I'm going to slice it for fun just to kind of show everyone how much material is wasted. Okay, that's going to be a lot of material waste, but I'm not going to actually print this, so watch this. So even with color, it still slices faster than AnkerMake, but the time and the waste, it's drastic. So the secret here to make the waste as minimal as possible is to basically make multiple versions of the file. And that'll kind of, the waste will still be the same. So that's kind of how you compensate for it. You can also go into others here, shrink the prime tower down, and then move it around so it's not in the way. You can also change your flushing volumes. I always like to change them to 0.5, and then it fixes all the values. And then here's what it was before. It's can't really tell. Well, just go back to the video and see what it was before. But if you see the waste, it's basically the same amount of waste, and it just increases the time slightly to add 2 files. So anyway, just wanted to show that off. Okay, so that's it for this portion. Now I'm going to print those 2 things off. I'll throw the time lapses into this video, and we'll view the end results together. Stay tuned for the future videos down the road, which will include everything I mentioned earlier in this video: speed, quality, AI, hardware replacement, support. When I say support, I mean customer service, the noise level, power draw, and all that fun stuff. This is MikeBot. So continuing on the AnkerMake versus P1P series, I'm going to be doing a test print on both the AnkerMake and P1P. I'll be printing the exact same object, using the exact same quality default settings on both slicers, and we're going to see which one turns out better. I'm going to print them both at their standard default speed. So I believe AnkerMake's is 250 MMS, and I believe Bambu is somewhere around 300, 350 MMS. So the Bambu will be slightly faster, but the point is I want to see the quality difference between the 2 prints going on standard speeds. After that, I'm going to slice something else, and I'm going to have both printers print it at their max speeds. So I'll start with the AnkerMake here. I'm going to be printing sanding boxes. I'll just orient everything accordingly. So there we go, 1 of each sanding block. Slice. Gonna take 4.5 hours, almost 5 hours, 4 hours, 45 minutes, and it's gonna be 137 grams of filament. So let's export that. And then I will do the exact same thing on the P1P. And I'll just orient everything accordingly. Make sure the simple settings, standard, strength 2, 1.2. I'm going to go 3 because it's set to 3 on the AnkerMake. Let me just double check. Yeah, 3 wall count. Infill 15%, connected lines, infill 15, grid, perfect. This one slices a lot faster, and I'm just going to send it directly to my printer. Round it up to 114 grams, and 3 hours, 17 minutes. So clearly the P1P is a lot faster. So while that sends that, let me just see what it was here. 4 hours, 45 minutes, and 137 grams, and this one's 113. So the P1P uses less material for some reason. Exact same settings. 3 wall loops, 15% infill. 3 wall loops, 15% infill. Let me just see if the thickness is the same. Pretty sure it is. What advanced settings here? 3, 0, top shelf thickness, 0.6. So I want to make this as fair as possible. So I think I had gone 1.2, right? So that was top shell thickness. Top shell 1.2, 1.2. Yeah, make it as fair as possible. I don't want any cheating on either printer. 15. This one's 15% overlap. And this one was 10% overlap. Okay, it's close enough. 1.2, 1.2. Yeah. So I'm gonna just reslice this, just so it's even. Goes up to 126.35 grams. Still uses less material, and it's still less time. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and print these, and then I'll go over both printed objects and see what the quality difference is. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go look for a file that I can print that's pretty simple, and I'm gonna have both printers printed at full speed. So with the Bambu, I gotta change the speed on the print. I put it into ludicrous mode. With the Bambu though, with the AnkerMake, I'll actually have to change the speed in here. So let me clear this plate off. And let's find a file. I'll post a link to both of these files as well in the description. Okay, so what I've decided to do is actually, I'm going to use the built-in files for both printers for the Benchy. So I'll do the built-in file Benchy for the Bambu, and we'll do the same thing with the AnkerMake. And I'll go over what the settings are during the final print review of both printers. So this should be a very interesting test. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below in the description. So that's it for part 1. I've compared both printers at a high level, done an overview of both printers at a high level. We've set up the prints for quality, we've set up the prints for speed. Everything is sliced and ready to go. So stay tuned for part 2 coming really soon, and that's going to have the print quality comparison, the print speed comparison, the bed leveling comparison, the AI comparison, as well as what it's like to replace hardware on both. And I'm also going to do a noise level video as well as a power draw video. And last but not least, I'm going to do the support, customer support that is. I'm going to give you guys a feel of what customer support is like from both companies and how painful or how fun and easy it is to deal with them. Thanks again for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. You have any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thanks again. MikeBot out.